Oh my goodness gracious. That's the meat. It looks real, doesn't it?
I'm swinging poop around on the camera. What has my life come to?
I don't want to put it in my mouth, I don't want to eat it. It looks horrible, it looks rancid, it smells disgusting. Hello, my friends. I bet you weren't expecting this. It's the Pepsi Blue review. I couldn't help but do a little kind of review breath thing there with the Blue review, because you know he has the food review, and blue and review kind of rhyme if you say it right, you know. Just a little gag kind of thing there, you know how it is. So yeah, that's what we have today. This is Pepsi Blue, a drink that I didn't even know exists. And I had to get this from my local specialised sweet shop that sells foreign goods. This isn't something you're going to get at Morrison's or Tesco or Asda here in Britain. I don't know whereabouts this is sold elsewhere in the world, but it's not. All of the stuff on the label, all back here, isn't really written in English. We'll have a look at that in a minute. It did cost me £2.50 for a 500ml bottle, which is absolutely ridiculous. For £2.50 I could go into Tesco, Asda, Morrison's, wherever, and probably get about 1.5 litres of Pepsi. So definitely highly expensive stuff. Don't know if I'm ever going to buy it again. This stuff is going to have to be the absolute bee's knees in order for me to really go for it again. But I've bought it. I can't wait to try it. But first, let's have a little look at all of the little bits and pieces that are written on the back of the label. And here we have the Pepsi Blue, shimmering like a perfectly still blue ocean. Yep, so there it is, Pepsi Blue. The bottle design is far more reminiscent of the old Pepsi bottle design than the new one that we have here in Britain. Just Pepsi Blue. I've now just noticed that it's only 450ml, which is kind of an odd size considering most Pepsi comes in a 500ml bottle, but hey, whatever. Let's have a look at this nutritional info. And it's measured per 330. Well, that's just kind of odd. Well, okay, well, if you really want to do the math on it, you can. Anyway, it will contain 150 calories, no limac. Okay. I'm guessing that's going to be sugar. That's probably fat and saturates. And then the sugar's about 15 milligrams per 350 milliliters. I'm guessing that's what all of it means. Ah, there we go. Limac, total fat. Contains no protein. Not surprised at that. Yeah, it's just sort of your standard stuff. None of this is in English because I had to buy it from a place that sells foreign bits and pieces. But we can see the caffeine content, which I think is very important for more drink manufacturers to put on their drinks. This contains 36 milligrams of caffeine per serving. So that's about 330 milliliters. So, you know, kind of on par with all the other Pepsi variants. I do love the blue colour. So, I mean, generally speaking, this contains just a little bit less sugar than normal Pepsi, the exact same amount of caffeine, and it's measured in a very odd amount. But other than that, looks alright. Okay, so now that that's done, we can admire its glory, this absolutely lovely blue liquid. I do love that. It just looks really nice, especially goes well with the blue logo. Pepsi's known for being blue, where Coke's known for being red, so having a proper blue variant is pretty amazing. Now, I have no idea what flavour this is. I really don't. So it's definitely going to be interesting to try it. I'm looking forward to it, 100%. It's got that standard sort of Pepsi fizz. Now that's a smell unlike any other. I cannot pinpoint that at all, to be honest. It's a very strange, very peculiar smell. Here it is in the glass. I'd say it looks really lovely, just that nice blue sparkling liquid. It's a very nice colour of blue as well. It's very similar to the shade of my car. And I don't know, that's just the shade of blue that that gets me in the heart. You know, I specifically wore my blue shirt for this review, but man, if my colour of shirt was like this, I would be a very happy man. A very, very happy man indeed. So, let's give it a taste, because for the love of God, I can't tell what it smells of. So let's taste it. Ooh. Okay then, now that was a very different experience from any that I've had with Pepsi recently. It has way more fizz than your standard Pepsi. There's a lot more fizz to it. It's kind of on that Coca-Cola level of fizz. Not as acidic, it's still smooth, goes down the throat very nicely the way Pepsi normally does as opposed to Coca-Cola. The taste of it is very, very strange. I say it has almost a berry kind of taste, kind of like the blue Fanta berries. It kind of has a berry-ish kind of flavour, but not as strong as perhaps your standard berry drink. Unfortunately, I can taste the sugar in it very strongly. I tend to avoid the full sugar drinks, and I opt more for your zero sugars, just for health benefits. The sugar comes through quite a lot over the actual flavour of what it's meant to be, but when you are getting that standard flavour, I would say it's very berry. I'd say it's a little hint of berry. Okay, so there was a little jump cut there. What I've done is I've just kind of sat with it for a minute, let the flavour rest on my tongue, and kind of try and think on what that flavour is. And I would definitely say 100% that it's a berry-like flavour. I can't really pin down what specific berry. It's definitely not raspberry or strawberry or blueberry, you know, but there is definitely sort of a berry flavour to it. But it's not that kind of pure flavour that you would generally get. Like when you have Pepsi Max Raspberry, for instance, there's definitely a raspberry taste, and while they do tend to taste like more artificial kind of berries, there's still a somewhat natural kind of thing there. I would say that this is what a very sort of sugary berry thing would taste like. Like if you had a meringue that was a berry flavour, that's what I imagine it would taste like. This is quite possibly liquidized berry meringue, given some sort of blue dye to give it that blue appearance. It's a nice flavour, and if you like things that are very sugary and have that very sweet taste, that very overly sweet taste, you'll definitely enjoy it. And, you know, it's definitely a unique flavour. It's not one that I've ever experienced elsewhere in my sweet eating or drink consuming days. You know, I would give them a 10 out of 10 for uniqueness, 100%. On flavour alone, I'm gonna have to give this one a 6 though, just because the sugary content, you know, it tastes a bit too sugary. If there was just a little more emphasis on that natural berry flavour, and they allowed it to shine through like the blue shininess of this drink here, I would have easily given this a 7, maybe even an 8. So my criticism is definitely that it's just a bit too sugary. It's a bit too sweet. But they definitely deliver on a unique flavour. And if you want to have a liquidized berry meringue, you can't really go wrong with a little bit of Pepsi Blue.